So actually, what we're hoping for is 2 triggers to actually hit over the heal trigger. All right, hopefully this is game. They have 4 heal triggers left in the deck. Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing a deck profile on NovaGrappler's new support from set 18, and that is RAIZERS. Longtime players, you will recognize that RAIZERS were actually quite meta back in the day when the game first released. I think around set 2, RAIZERS was one of the #1 decks. And it quickly faded away because MLB, Dotei, all that kind of stuff came around, and then the limit break era kind of overshadowed it really quickly. RAIZERS didn't really get a lot of support. We got new stuff for Blouse or like Beast 80s instead. But finally, after 16 whole sets, RAIZERS are getting some more support. And honestly, I can't be more excited to showcase my build. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've been having a lot of success with it. Of course, I've been tweaking it a lot along the way, trying to still figure some things out, but I think this is something that I think is presentable and could be a good place to start for those who want to give RAIZERS a shot. I know it's a bit late, but still, I think it can compete in the metagame, and I definitely don't count it out. So let's talk about the list. First of all, we're going to be playing ROG Battle Raizer. Battle Raizer is the trigger starter. So like the original TCG, it still holds the stand trigger icon. When you boost it, it actually returns to the deck and draws you a card, and then returns to your deck and then shuffles it. Great card. An extra trigger is always great. Obviously, like Lozenji Magus is probably the better between the two because Lozenji Magus is a heal trigger and this is a stand trigger, but stand trigger synergizes well with the NovaGrappler playstyle, and you know, it's a RAIZER unit that you can use for the RAIZER name if you want, and it's also spawnable by Perfect RAIZER, which is quite nice. So definitely quite nice. If you want this art and SP, you can exchange this in the VML shop, just in case anyone's wondering. It's just really cool. This art was from the trial deck, 3rd or 4th trial deck from the TCG. Not a lot of people cared about it. It also got reprinted in like extra boosters and stuff. But anyways, it's just a fun fact, I guess. And it's alt art. Alt art's cool. We're playing 4 Tank RAIZERS. Tank RAIZERS is a great card. Rearguard Circle, if you have another RAIZER rearguard in the same column, this unit and that unit cannot be retired by your opponent's card effect. So yeah, if you have 2 of these in your rearguard columns and 2 rearguard grade 2 RAIZERS in the front row, it means that your opponent can't Blaster Blade it or anything. And that is quite big. I think it's quite big. It kind of shut down some decks, multi-attack options, and is really solid, I believe. Next, we play 3 Screaming and Dancing Announcer Shell, one of my favorites. It's just a filter. It's like a Lian. Definitely a great ride target if you're going first or something, and helps you, filter out cards, which is always great. Always great. We play 2 energy chargers on play, Soul Blast 2, draw 1. It's pretty much a staple in most NovaGrappler decks. You play 1 or 2 of these. The challenging thing is obviously like some cards do want RAIZERS in your soul. Perfect RAIZER. Personally, I don't mind it. When you re-ride with your Legion and Maid. If you're on Legion, you get to immediately Soul Blast 2. Soul Blast 2 helps you Legion if you're going second. On your first turn, you can Legion easier if you have Energy Charger in your hand. Helps you draw, which isn't NovaGrappler's forte. So it definitely does help and puts a body on the board. Lastly, we're playing 4 Twin Bladers. This is the old PG. Definitely don't think that this deck really needs LB. It has no LB4 skills. You don't have returning heals, so the chances of proccing or returning those and proccing those, it's a Legion deck, so it's higher than the normal non-Legion deck, but it's still, it's still not that great. Twin Blader helps you mitigate that pressure from like crit Vanguards, so you don't get pushed to 5 too early. That definitely does give yourself a safety net, especially in a deck that's all about just denying and trying to apply that pressure. For the grade 2s, we are playing 3 Dual Flares. Dual Flare skill is Rearguard Circle once per turn. When your Vanguard attacks during the turn, you Legion. You can +1 to stand this unit, and it gets +5k, so it's a 14k restander during the turn you Legion. Your Legions, one of them don't really synergize well with Dual Flare. It kind of clashes with it. The other one is nice, but if it hits, then your opponent checks two damages, and sometimes that extra damage check doesn't really help dual flare hit anymore. So I played around with it. I think it's fine, but it's a bit restrictive with the turn. It has to be the turn you Legion, and 14k restand does hurt a little bit, and that doesn't really synergize well with Legions in my opinion. So I played it at 3. It's still a good card, but you don't need to see it. We play 4 Flame Wings. This card's great, 12k beater. When you just hit your stand triggers, when you synergize with your Vanguards that stand your front row, then 12k can swing by itself with any boost in this game. In this deck, you can actually hit those 11 plus 5k, 16k numbers and whatnot. So that's nice. We play 4 RAIZER, which is like the card advantage generator in the deck. On place, you just check top card and call it out. Sometimes you RAIZER into RAIZER, and it's so much better than Babakar into Babakar into Babakar. RAIZER also has a Raizer name. It's an intercept, so your opponent has to hit into it, so it's quite nice. It's free. Even if you don't get anything, at least it's a body. And lastly, we play 2 Kiraras. So Kirara, I think, actually has a place in this deck, even though it's not a Raizer. On hit, Counterblast 2, draw 1 card. You will notice that this deck doesn't really spend that much Counterblast. I even cut one of the dual flares. The deck also doesn't draw much outside of Battle Raizer maybe, and Energy Charger. So the +1 is actually quite nice, and the cost isn't that impactful to this build. Lastly, for the main grade 3, we play 4 Mega Flares, SP of course. Legion's dual flare. When this unit attacks Vanguard, if you have 2 or more rewards in rest and you're in Legion, get an extra crit. So doesn't say any front row, doesn't say specifically this column or whatever, just as long as you have 2 rest units. So if you have 2 shouts rested, then you fulfilled the condition already. In addition, when this attacks, if you have another unit in the middle column, it gets +3, so that's quite nice. We have Drill Wing, which is your multi-attack option instead of your crit. This card legions with Flame Wing, and when you attack the Vanguard, if you're in Legion, +2 to stand all your front rearguards with another unit in the same column. So if you have a back row unit behind, like a Flame Wing for example, then the Flame Wing would stand. If you don't, then the front row would not stand. So that's important to recognize. Some people wondering if this is a bug, it's not, it's just reading is hard. And of course it also has the +3k skill. We play 4 of the Perfect Raizer as our heal. So it says during your turn, if you have, you get +3 for each Raizer. If you have 4 or more, it gets +1 crit. So when it hits 23k, for your reference, and 1 place, +2 to add a Blau Raizer from your from outside of your deck to your hand, which means you basically pulled a trigger out of thin air. It also means a draw and putting that trigger back to the deck, or a Raizer name for your for crit skill. In addition, Vanguard Circle, no cost, put all your Raizer rewards into your soul, and it helps you fulfill the first skill. Of course, you know, generally speaking, Perfect Raizer isn't your main ride target, but if you're going first, for example, maybe consider riding it for the extra Battle Raizer, for the extra trigger and the draw, maybe. And sometimes if you want to just go for game fast, if your opponent just gets really unlucky and sees like a couple PGs, you know, to the bottom of the deck after they missed the drive check, or just goes to damage and you're confident you can go for the game, going on to Perfect Raizer, trying to go for game as soon as possible. Some decks can't react to it, and you can steal games off that too. Lastly, we play 1 Beast 80 Yamato Drake. Pretty standard, I think. When you restand it, it's +4, it synergizes well with the Drill Wing primarily, but it also synergizes with the Battle Raizers that you can start with and generate. So that's basically the list. Let me know down below what your list looks like. How do you play it? Personally, I like to start off with Mega Flare. I try to just stay on Mega Flare, maybe re-Legion if I have triggers in the drop zone. Try to pressure. If I see that my opponent's playing OPGs earlier on, then I'll put them on 3 and then just attack with Vanguard and force the PGs out, and then I'd go into Drill Wing to multi-attack and finish our opponent off with 5 swings. If not, then maybe holding your opponent to 4 and Mega Flare just to damage to 9. A lot of the decks out there, I think Seeker is honestly the most popular deck out there, has returning heals. Golds are popular as well, and so if I'm at 5 and you are at 4, I can keep pinging out PGs, but I'm also denying your heals. I think that's been working really well for me. Again, this kind of suggestion really matchup dependent, so consider your own play, but how you kind of time your damage and holding your opponent off at certain damage counts, it really depends on, you know, it really depends on what you're starting off with in terms of your hand and how you set up your board. Sometimes just because you have multiple RAIZERs or multiple grade 2s doesn't mean you have to commit them, because maybe you want your opponent to hit you, and all that stuff. So try to compartmentalize that. I don't think I kind of explained myself really clearly, so hopefully we can demonstrate some of that in game. Basically, the deck is about damage denying and holding your opponent off with crit pressure and sealing the game off if necessary with multi-attacks. So without further ado, let's go into a few games and see how this deck performs. And I know that, you know, RAIZERS have a new starter. It has resist and helps you restand and multi-attack. I know that, but personally, Bound Raizer just helps you cycle out. It gives you that extra draw. I'd much rather draw into something that than get a conditional restand skill. Of course, if you're playing that other starter, maybe consider the grade 2, the new RAIZER, which says when you stand this unit, stand something else in the same column. That way you're making the most out of that starter. Jet RAIZER as well is a decent option, but personally I'm valuing just getting into the Legion as soon as possible, as consistently as possible. Tank RAIZER helps me maintain that board, not get pressured by our opponents, retire skills, control the game, and just win games. And so that's basically the game plan I'm moving into the game with. So this hand is actually pretty okay. I'm just gonna hold on to it. Honestly, anything. Is it a VP farmer? Might be a VP farmer. Let me turn on the animations first. Hold up. All right, they got the Tsukiyomi. Of course, they're going first, so we still don't know yet. All right, we're going for game, and no heal. Nice, nice, nice. So we're not gonna. Hopefully, we're not gonna see any more 6 damage heals. It's been a while. I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it that way. No 6 damage heals for our opponent. 6 damage heals for us. That'd be great. By the way, if you've skipped to this part, we are at 90%, almost 90% of our goal of hitting 2K subs, and we're so close, just 10% away. I know 50% and more of you are not subscribed, so if you've enjoyed my videos so far and want to see more, remember to subscribe and hang out. So alright, so we're going to see Royal Paladins again. Seekers, again, I mentioned just now. Paladins, really popular matchup here. I'm okay with it. Honestly, I'm not a very greedy player. I'm just gonna hold on to whatever I have. Grade 2s, especially if you're going, you know, in the Legion era, you're fine just flooding and having a Legion option. Well, Merry Christmas to you, too. And let's see, we can hit 15k numbers if we put in the side, so let's do that. Alright, that's enough from you. So, SG, if it stands for Singapore, it's like what? 5:11 p.m. in Toronto. That's like 5 a.m. in Singapore. So, you know, that's dedication for playing this game at 5 a.m. Heal trigger early. Don't want to see that, but I guess you can always Legion it back. That's a positive of like a offensive drive check. So here we're just gonna ride dual flare. I think that's fine, and I think calling this is fine too. Let's just swing for 9 and 12. Draw trigger is very nice. PG is always great. Alright, Blaster Blade, that's 1 down. Alright, that's Wingle. So we hit, that's fine. We're gonna shuffle that back. Oh, RAIZER is great. One other thing, RAIZER's positive is that it's callable by RAIZER, which actually increases your odds of hitting something. Or, you know, hitting a unit, a plus off RAIZER, which is something that the other starters don't give you. And I think that, you know, it's a really small difference, but it can come into play. So consider when you're calling the RAIZER, consider the fact that if you have the RAIZER in your deck, that there is a chance that you will superior call at 3k. And of course, it's a trigger, and it lets you draw a card. So you want to prioritize slapping it on the board, but configure your board in a way that if the odds are decently high, you know, set it up properly. Like, I'm not saying if it's like 1 in 27, you know, our next card is gonna be a RAIZER, but if it's like 1 in 10 or like 1 in 5 or 6, then it's something that you should expect. You can expect. So here we're just gonna use the Perfect RAIZER. We can actually, we're actually gonna use a skill. I think it's fine. You know, we have a PG. We don't need to necessarily draw into our deck. The question is, are they playing old or new PGs? Because if they're playing old PGs, I can actually put them to 3 and the Vanguard swings for crit and pushes them to 5. I think that's still a fine option. I want to RAIZER and see what we're going to see. Alright, that's a PG. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. It's still a booster. And maybe one more. Is one more fine? One more Trans Raizer? I guess it's fine. Or maybe I'll draw a card first. Let's draw a card. Oh, actually no, I can't draw a card. If I draw a card, then I can't use the perfect Raizer. That's fine. That's fine. We don't need the perfect Raizer. We don't need the perfect Raizer. Plan didn't work. Couldn't execute it because I'm a dumbass. I literally mentioned Energy Charger doesn't really synergize with perfect Raizer, but that's okay. We're just gonna brute force our way, play vanilla Vanguard. So they are playing OPGs, so I guess the plan could have worked. Don't play like me. It's like our opponent's playing better than us when it's like 5 AM in the morning until like the afternoon for me, so it's a bit rough. Lian discarding the rank reward thing saver. Very nice. SP Wingle 2. So what can they Legion? They can Legion 4 units now. That's cool. That's cool. No Legion on our end though. Unfortunately, I think we drew a lot already. We used 2 Battle Raizers. We used the Energy Charger. So, but it's okay. One thing that's interesting is that the Battle Raizer from the SP Perfect Raizers are all the original art. So the original art, and the only way you can get an SP version of that is by buying the trial deck, the garbage trial decks that are exiting the shop. So if you want that consistency, you only have like a couple days left to pick that up. If not, then you're stuck with the free-to-play approach to get an SP Battle Raizer like myself through the V-Mail shop. And it's gonna look different, but honestly, the alt art looks better. I wish there was a way to spawn the alt art with Perfect Raizer instead, because you know there's 2 different arts. You'd assume that the alt art would spawn an alt art, but I guess not. So heal here, not gonna matter. We're still gonna make it push to 4. That's okay. That's okay. Honestly, considering using the Perfect Raizer, but with 2 PGs, I think we can just take it slow. I think it's fine. Take it slow and easy. Maybe we'll see an Ultimate Raizer. No, we don't. We see Mega Flare. Do we have triggers? We do. We have 2 triggers. I think it's pretty worth it to return them. Actually, I think it's fine. Pretty good. I'm actually gonna use the Trans Raizer first because, well, if I'm returning more than 2 triggers, then I guess, okay, if I'm returning more than 1 trigger, then if I'm returning less than 2 triggers, I should be using Trans Raizer first, because Legioning returns 4 cards from the drop zone to the deck and then pulls out a mate, which is not a trigger. And so, yeah, just take my word for it. Not good, but yeah, it just increases your odds of actually plussing through with Trans Raizer. Is what I'm trying to say. But here it doesn't really matter what you. I guess Trans Raizer is fine, but the more you Legion, the more triggers over non-triggers, and so the odds of proccing Trans Raizer is lower. So Trans Raizer early game, good. Trans Raizer early game, good. So here, I think we're gonna go for a game instead. So we're gonna prioritize the Counterblast for the 12K. So we can restand. So here, if we see a heal, that'd be amazing. No trigger though, no dice. Alright, we saw 2 PGs. Ah, they do have 1 PG. Right. Oh, I think they Legion back to heal. So they still have 4 heals active in the game, which is quite scary. But it's okay. If they push us to 5, we then have 2 more Counterblast to actually go for another restand and hopefully go for game, but we'll see. What do they have in the drop zone? Not really anything worthy to re-Legion. Staying on Wingle is fine. That's 1 Gans. It's Lian. Getting rid of that Blaster Blade. Okay. Interesting. Alright, Blaster Blade. Alright, the 12K beater. So they've shown 3 PGs already. So hopefully, you know, if they don't see a heal trigger, then I think we can go for game. Pretty solid. Alright, dual flare. Again, it's a bit awkward because you can only use it on the turn at Legion. You Legion. So it could have been good in this situation, but it's not. It's not good in this situation. We have the PG. It's great. They don't have any countless left, so we have 2 intercepts and a PG. I think we're pretty comfortable. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. The restand from Cardfight 2 is pretty good. And nothing worthy of Legioning back, actually, anyways. So, nope. So this way we're swinging for, we're checking for 3 PGs. And we know that our opponent at most has 1. So actually what we're hoping for is 2 triggers. To actually hit over the heal trigger. Alright, hopefully this is game. They have 4 heal triggers left in the deck. Maybe in the hand. But that's game. That's good. It's good, it's good, it's good. Let's go for 1 more and see how the second can do. And, maybe rank up. Maybe rank up. That'd be great. So yeah, I mean, originally I didn't play the Kiratas. Originally I played more Shouts. Originally I did try the other starter. I tried Jet Raizer. I actually did put the heal trigger on the restand Legion. But honestly, it's pretty good. You know, it's drill wing's pretty solid. I think it's pretty fine. Again, I'm not greedy. Just hopefully I can show off the damage deny approach with the ultimate Raizer, dual flare and whatnot. But prioritizing winning games, you know, prioritizing winning games. So here we're gonna be playing another Royal Paladin player. Let's see what they're bringing. All right, Seekers again. It's fine, quite fine, quite fine. Ringle Seeker. Lian, filtering on turn 1, calling this out instead. Oh, crit on Think Saver. I think one of the challenges of using crit is that when you restand, you don't actually keep the crit. Okay, very interesting plays. Interesting plays. Kind of want to. Do I want to keep this to hit numbers? I don't think that's necessary to keep that. All our raid 2s are 9k. I think they're fine. I think they're fine. All right. Yeah, interesting plays, interesting build. We'll see. We'll see. I think the key here would be using the tank RAIZERS properly, just to slow down the blaster blades. And all we need to do is play solid. Let our opponent minus themselves because they're very good at that. And I think we're gonna be doing good. Draw trigger, that's very nice. We're gonna overdraw 2, 4, 6, 8. No, we're not. Alright, let's see what we're gonna draw into. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. We might want RAIZERS in our soul. Let's try this. Yeah, that's fine. Nice. Guaranteed to push to 2 damages in, not push to 3 because they can still heal. In this case. But. So something to consider is that because we're not playing a pure grade 2 Raizer lineup, the tank Raizer is not as often online. But that's okay. Honestly, I think that's fine. That's why we're playing 4 tank RAIZERS instead of the 3, which I'm seeing most commonly, because you know if you have less RAIZERS in the same column, the chances of them being sniped out is higher. That's okay. We're playing 1 more copy to compensate on that, and I'm in access a nice lightning rod to actually attract the retire skills or bind skills or whatnot. So I think it's fine. The Kirata Karmas 2 draw 1 is it's quite good, better than expected. So. Our opponent's probably just gonna rage quit. Yeah, not much. Not much. I don't know. I mean, you know, clearly they play a lot because they have at least Legend 20 last season. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I is someone else playing for them? Did they just goof? Is it too early in the morning? It's a weird deck too. There's, you know. Alright, well, just gonna go into Perfect Raizer. Here, I'll suck these up. See if we can just win here. There we go. It's nice. That's the ranked reward arts for top 100. Back in the day, you had to be top 100 to get your second SP. So blast in the past. And there we go. Legend 28. I think we have time for one more game. I don't think I really wanted to showcase what I wanted to showcase. So let's do that one more time. I think we have the time. But you know, I think Perfect Raizer isn't that terrible. I think it's bad, but it's not terrible. Another Royal Paladin player, and it just really goes to show how popular Secrets are. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So here we're going second. Definitely no for the Perfect Raizer. Want to see more grade 2s? I think that'd be great. There we go. And it's a VP farmer. And we're back. This is clickbait. 5-win streak in less than an hour. Easy game. I don't know, man, but is it clickbait when it's true? Deck's so good. Attracts VP farmers. VP farmer magnet. Genesis Star. Let's see if this is a VP farmer. If it is, then I'm done for the day. Here, I think the dual flare, the mega flare. Sorry, dual flare is the grade 2 is fine. Kirada helps us draw. Yamatano Drake really doesn't really synergize with this Legion. That's fine. Get rid of it. And we have a PG, which is really good. All right, another feeling, another pure secret player. Going first, Shout. Shout is the way to go sometimes. Do we want to ditch it and draw this though? Tank Raizer, I think it's pretty good. Tank Raizer is pretty good. I think I'm just gonna hold it. Pass. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, but you can, which is why you know, Shout's a great card. You know, your filters are solid. But I do want to rather prioritize the Tank Raizer. I think it's a great card, especially in this matchup where your opponent has like 8 on place, Caramelis 2 retires. It's like ridiculous. Tank Raizers can win games. So Lian, Biru, alright. The Blaster Blade from the anniversary. Alright, Gringle. Perfect Raizer. Alright, well, we do want to hit our numbers, so maybe 12 is nice. Trans Raizer, +1. +1, very good. So here, even though we're not using Tank Raizer skill, we can actually hit 7, 12, 16. Deal 3 damage. Alright, nice. Can we see a trigger to guarantee that? No, we don't, but it's okay. If our opponent doesn't see a trigger, that's all we need. And that's nice. And PG. It's good, it's good. Push 3 damage this turn. Set up an intercept board. Drew a card, even though it's a trigger, that's fine. It's an option that I can go into now. Great. Pushing for damage this earlier on, and still having a decent sized hand means that I can also just go straight into Perfect Raizer, especially since I'm going first. Swing for game. You know, we can swing for game, possibly swing for game. Here, getting rid of the Kirada, trying to push back you know, catch up on the damage. Maybe killing the tank Raizer would have been better. But we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. See. If they push up the Lien, get greedy, we could call for a PG or lethal. Is that something I want to do? I don't know, but it's something I can do. We know that they're playing old PGs too, so holding them on 3 is quite valuable. Just not giving them the extra counter blast to play around with, unless they Gringle or something. So what are they gonna do? Gild us, alright, not gonna be greedy, that's fine. We're gonna play slow and steady as well then. Alright, swing with Vanguard first. This way if they hit a heal, then our chances of hitting a heal and proccing it properly is lowered. So there you go. So they hit a heal. So if they attack with the Vanguard first, they would be at 2, and we would still be at 1. We see a heal here, I guess. Then we would have healed. But I guess does it really matter? I don't know. I don't think it really matters. That's whatever. Just ignore me. All right, we're gonna use Perfect Raizer here. I think the trigger is quite nice. Alright, so here at 14, we need to hit 23, which means we need what? We need how many? 6, 7, 3? We need 3. Don't really feel like minusing 3 for the skill. I really don't. So let's just play as is. Shout's nice. Shout's nice. Ooh, yes. Yes, as expected. Not, I wanted that. Alright, here, we get the cool animation even though we don't have the extra crit or whatever. It's fine, we whiffed, we put them to 3, it's chill. Next turn we can then go into Mega Flare and then do our crit shenanigans without minusing the living existing out of us. Wingle. Do they have a nice Legion targets? They have a Gantz, they have Blaster Blade, and Locrinus? Yeah. Do that. But maybe Lieno, the trigger or something. If they have one. If their hand's like, you know, all PGs or whatever, then can't say nothing, right? So Wingle helps you call something out. The File can help you call something out as well. Help you set up though that intercept without committing anything from hand, which is quite nice. Locrinus. File also gets the retire if they want to, because the Locrinus actually hits numbers just by itself without using Lien or anything. So here they can push to 5 actually. Question is, will they attack with Vanguard first to actually potentially protect heal? And they do not. They have 4 heals left. Let's see if they whiff one. No, unfortunately not. I wish they did. But Perfect Raizer here again. Alright, let's just go for a dual flare. If we drew into an energy charger, that'd be really good. Just gonna dunk this. Of course. Now I don't know if I want to put them to 5. Now I don't know if I want to put them to 5. Alright, Mega Flare. So here, if we hit one of our stands, maybe we can call for game. But we know that they're playing old PGs, so hopefully they do play old PGs, and then we hit a heal or two to actually survive, because if not, then it's game over. 2 draws doesn't really help here. They do have a PG. Fortunately, we don't have any intercepts to help us out here. But yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we did do that good. think maybe committing to the perfect Raizer, trying to pull out that PG and then going for game this turn would be better. But yeah, it is how it is. We have 1 PG only, so situation is a bit dire, but we do have 3 heals left in the deck. So if we proc 1 or 2, if we proc 1, I think we still have a solid chance to win. It's a draw trigger and a heal trigger. So let's see, 3 and 19. Can we see it? Can we see it? And we don't. So unfortunately, that is how it is. One of the challenges is that this deck on Legion doesn't really do much. It's more like when you're in Legion state, you do stuff. So the incentive to re-Legion is lower. The impact of re-Legioning is lower than stuff like, you know, Seekers that just pluses on place or on Legion and stuff like that. And so to compensate, I'm playing Kirara. To compensate, I'm playing Energy Charger, RAIZERS to actually help you generate that card advantage. So that's basically it for my Raizer deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more. Definitely the deck can break. It is more prone than some other decks, but when you have good experience with it, when you have good control over it, whether how you maintain the flow of the game, how you control your opponent's damage and your own damage count, when you go into which Legion or which grade 3 ride target, or when you try to push with RAIZERS and whatnot, I think you could do really well, and definitely better than I did. So that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.